Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second of the Guysborough Journal's new video news reports during the pandemic. We've been wondering how our tourism operators are doing, and I'm sure many of you have as well, how they're doing now and how they're planning for the spring and summer ahead. So we decided to reach out to Anne-Marie Bagnall of Seawind Landing. She's been a leader of tourism development in Guysborough County over the past year or so. So we're going to touch base with Anne-Marie and see how things are going across the county and for her own business. So hang on one sec while we loop Anne-Marie in. Hi there, Anne-Marie. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just great, Helen. How are things out there with you?
Not too bad. I think we're finding, I think like everyone, there's some good days and some bad days. And, today the sun is shining and that helps. And I think spring is around the corner. But I know just some of our friends and family that we all see online every day. Some days they sound really good, and some days not so much. So I think it's important that, we just continue to reach out to each other and support each other. And I think that makes a big difference. And as you know, part of the reason that we're doing these video chats now to do some of our news reporting is to add that personal face. And, people know you and you're a member of the local business community. And I think it's just good to kind of hear from people directly. So thanks for taking some time. It's tough perhaps in particular for the tourism operators. They have a different set of worries and stresses around this. So you worked hard along with some other people to really develop a new movement for tourism in Guysborough County over the past year or so. And I think that just actually recently got launched, and that's so unreal because you could think about what could possibly go wrong now. We're on a roll, we mobilized, and let's have a worldwide pandemic thrown into that. So I've noticed, because I think I'm on your distribution list for some of the messages that you're putting out to tourism operators, that you've really tried to kind of tap into what is out there that can help them. What are some webinars and resources? So tell us a little bit about that. What are you hearing from some parts of the tourism group that you've organized and helped organize, and what kind of help is out there that you're trying to communicate?
Well, I guess, yeah, as you said, we certainly did not see a pandemic coming. And it has sort of given us another priority that we need to address at this point, which is, just the immediate survival, making it through until the season actually comes back. It is very scary to be in tourism right now.
Mm-hmm.
The cancellations that you see, it is not my favorite part of the day, processing all those reservation requests. And I mean, your heart breaks for the people who, were all set to come out on vacation and now they can't. And at the same time, we just don't know when tourism will make a rebound. It's such a short season for us here.
Mm-hmm.
Really just starts slowly in May, sort of starts ramping up in June. And then it's all pretty well over by the end of September, beginning of October. So, what we've done is we don't want to lose the momentum that we have going with the Tourism Association. So we are still making progress on some of the initiatives that we have underway. A little bit more tricky now since we can't actually meet.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be using some technology to have our board meetings and things. So we'll be continuing with that, albeit a little slower. But my focus immediately, though, kind of shifted to just want to share with everybody in the tourism side sort of what relief measures are coming so that people don't miss them, as well as I'm on distribution lists for many different organizations. So we get, good advice about different webinars coming up as to what you can do if you're in tourism now. As well as I'm on the board of trade, so I get a lot of Chamber of Commerce type news.
Right.
And that's great. I think communication has to keep going through this, because you can get awfully disheartened if you're just alone looking at the news.
Yeah.
So it's looking at it, saying, okay, these are the various programs that are out there. This is what you can look at. This is what we can be doing. We're still going to get through. It's just we've got a little bump in the road at this point.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it, a little bump in the road. I'm thinking that some of our tourism operators, some people in hospitality businesses might just be self-employed, right? It's just themselves. And other people
Yeah.
could be a husband and wife team or something like that. And then we do have operators like yourself who have staff come on for the summertime. I noticed there was a big change this morning in the Prime Minister's remarks. Originally, small businesses were going to get a 10% payroll rebate, and that was welcome. But I think the business community across Canada was pushing, saying, if you want us to stay in business, which everybody wants, it's going to need to be more than that. And today, we don't have the details yet, but today they did announce that it'll be 75%. So I'm sure that you and other tourism operators who do have staffs to bring in the summertime, hopefully if the business is there, that's good news.
It's very good news. When the 10% wage subsidy was originally announced, I think everybody that I heard from just said, "What is 10% going to do? It's nowhere near enough." I mean, it would be helpful for some businesses where they were incurring slightly more costs. I mean, it would give them a little bit back, which was great. But for someone like us, if our business continues to take the hit it is, I mean, 10% would not help. 75% is very welcome. I'm looking forward to hearing the details of that. I think they said it was going to come out more on Monday.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's helpful. Yeah. I think the other one that I've been looking at is the Canada Emergency Response Benefit. That's that $2,000 a month for up to 4 months for people. And I know I've been asking some questions just in terms of how that is applied to business owners, which I've sort of put back out there to the Atlantic Chamber and the Canadian Federation of Business and RMP to say, okay, guys, the way that I'm reading it right now, it isn't going to help me.
Because
they're looking at that. So.
Yeah, because I had the impression, I know we don't have it, but they were trying to be fairly open with that, even for the self-employed. Is that what at least the language around it has been so far?
Yeah, exactly. That is how I was reading all of the benefits that they're doing. We're very much focused on there's this immediate liquidity crunch out there. We've got to get plans out there fast to help businesses get through that. And then I've been, I'm so impressed with like our MPs and everyone. Mike Kellaway, our MP out here, he's reaching out to like the Chamber of Commerce and he's meeting with us like every week. He's got an hour available to talk things through, which is, keeping those lines of communication open is so key to making it through this. So you're not feeling like you're alone. You're understanding they're hearing you and they're trying to help. So he very much conveyed the message. This is the short-term liquidity crunch, trying to do their best to get money out there, and that longer-term plans are going to come along. They just got to work them through. Because they know for businesses like the tourism sector, everything we hear right now is it's going to be late recovering and it's going to be, quite a ways off. So they know that there's going to be a net loss in tourism. So what can they do to address that and other sensitive sectors like that? So it's good news in that front. It really is.
And really all of us, even in tourism businesses, we all need our tourism operators to stay in business. I mean, we want this sector to grow in Guysborough County and the Eastern Shore. So I think it's in all of our interest that happens. What do you think the best case scenario is for, you in a normal year have a successful, well-known tourism operation at Seawind Landing? What are you hopeful that could be the best case scenario for the upcoming tourism season for you folks?
If I knew that. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what we're seeing right now. May and June, as I've said, have taken a hit with European travelers. Like pretty well all of our pre-booked Europeans have canceled out now for those 2 months. There was some commentary in some people's reservations about, being concerned about a late fall sort of resurgence of COVID-19. So we have had actually some people backing out that far in advance. It's really hard to say. I mean, I just read somewhere now they're saying late August, until social isolation, we can stop.
Wow.
I mean, I'm pretty sure right now May and June will be gone. I can't see them being at the levels that they normally are at. And then I don't know. I mean, I'm really hopeful it'll start up again in July, but it's really hard to say. And what's really concerning too is when you hear of all the big festivals or events getting canceled. Stanfest is still holding on at this point, but if Stanfest cancels, that'll be huge again. Like so we're just sort of holding our breath and hoping that all this isolation that they're asking people to do, that everyone will take it seriously and we can get this under control.
Yeah.
But it's huge.
Yeah. And there might be, I mean, maybe a very small silver lining, but I have seen some posts where people are saying that if we are allowed and able and willing to do vacationing this summer, that people are going to be wanting to vacation close to home. So, whereas Atlantic Canadians might have gone elsewhere sometimes to vacation, and maybe, I know you have a lot of people from other countries and Europeans come in, but maybe there'll be some Atlantic Canadians who haven't yet discovered operations like yours and others in our area that might say, I'm just going to drive 2 hours and I'm going to spend a few days there because that feels more comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be hopeful, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, definitely. I mean, I think that is what is going to make or break this season at the end, is how can we get people to do the stay vacation, and support, and it's beyond even just your tourism businesses. Like, all the local businesses are just hurting. So, I mean, it comes back to me wearing my Board of Trade hat now.
Yes.
Is that supporting local will never be more important than it is when we're allowed out again. It is critical.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Anne-Marie. We wish you and all the operators and all the small businesses in our area the very best. And we're going to stay in touch and see how this unfolds. I mean, I think we're going to be kind of at home a lot for the coming weeks, maybe months. And we'll touch base with you in a couple of weeks and see how things are going.
Okay.
Thanks
all right.
very much.
Well, thanks, Helen. Sorry about the phone.
Okay. Bye-bye.